Is it recording? Y'all, this should be lagging goddamn hard sometimes. Shit, you don't even be knowing. It be 2, 3, 4 minutes in. Y'all, I'm back with the October readings, or whatever the case may be. Going into Libra season. This is the month. This is for month of October. I got some music too loud in my ear. But the song I had in my head, I said Pisces, y'all was on the bottom of my deck, and I said I was gonna start with the mutables first. I said when I finish them, I'm just gonna upload them like that instead of just waiting it out. As I go. If they be long, they be long. So we just gonna go with the flow though. But the song that was in my head was Jealous. So by Nick Jonas. So that don't mean that it's like you jealous of somebody. For some of y'all it may be, I don't know. It's kind of like a possessive type thing. Where he talks about like how he a person, ideally though, wanting to get to know them, but it's kind of like they get to, because you got 2 cups in the hangman, so it's kind of like wanting to get to know somebody, wanting to be in a relationship. It could be business partnerships, wanting to bring something in, ideally though, and it's kind of like, damn, I want to know, but I don't get to know, like that kind of thing. So that's what I said. We shuffling up though. Y'all hear me? And we gonna get into it though. So you bear with me to about, what's today? Wait till about, give me to about the end of the month, and I tell you that's when I have a thing right here on this side with my light, and then y'all could just see it just be the car. So I get my table and shit and put it over there. So as I said, we'll be back to the end. We switch from these. Once I figure out how to run the HDMI from here to there, or have this camera here, but it on a different table because it's my computer desktop I'm working with. So we'll be able to go. Alright, okay. Let's see what y'all got coming out. I ain't got the clues. I ain't got the hints. Since I'm shuffling you. I have not. I think that's it. Alright, ooh. Star before we get ready to get the fitting. I like that though, because I tell you a lot of people get the star energy necessarily when it comes to ascension. The moon, because I be telling a lot of people when it comes to that, when a star card comes out, I know that's about wish fulfillment or wanting things, ideally putting things out in the universe, necessarily ascending from a spiritual type sense. But for me, it could be fears, worries, anxieties, or just being emotionally understanding. Where you hear me say like that jealous type song, because if you really listen to it, it was kind of like him not being emotionally honest about the things that he necessarily wanted. So that could be for some of you guys, whether it's good or bad. Ideally, though, going into that season, going into the month of October though. But you got Wheel of Fortune too. I'm just shuffling up. But it could be for good or bad. Whatever it is that you want, need, desire. I don't know. Or whatever case, but I really don't know. So we just gonna figure it out though, ideally though. So yeah, so let's go. The music's still going in my goddamn head. Hey, let's see. We got a lot of cards that came out and look at them. That's off the money. Wait a minute. Got a lot of cards that came out off the money. Right. So let's see. First card out, we got Ten of Swords, Six of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. For some of y'all, though, this could be communication styles. This could be money. This could be business. This could be celebratory type friends. Three of Cups, the Hermit. That's y'all sister sign, though. Some of y'all may got a Virgo moon. King of Cups, Six of Swords return. Ooh, let me move that water, y'all know. Ooh, girl, I don't know what it is. Like, it's like 1 or 2 video sketches of we ain't with these cards. If I tell y'all with my other ones, I messed the bitches up so bad. But they still surviving though. And I like that deck. It's pretty. It's pretty. I just like it. Like, just pretty. Sometimes I don't even like to use it. Page of Wands. I like that though. Whew. You got the moon, chariot. If I said, well, I got a Cancer moon, Pisces moon, Virgo moon. I'm gonna figure out what's coming out though. Whew. Woo! Okay. 2 cards. We're gonna take this. I usually pick one for the overall mood though, but we might have to drop one I did. I'll put one back though. I don't know which one I want. Some of y'all could be juggling. You hear me say, let me put the music in the song that I needed for it. I want to take this out my ear. I do. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling y'all energy. There, I want to cut down too long. Kind of feeling y'all energy though. It may be juggling going back and forth though, because the Eight of Swords, you hear me say, that could be like a situation to where like it could be a little with mental health challenges or feeling stuck, ideally in some situation. For some of y'all though, if it's like the jealous type energy of the song, it could be fluctuating from the idea of wanting something. Do I really know how to make the move? Because the Eight of Swords energy sometimes to me it could be in a mental imprisonment or entrapped in a situation when it's objects around you sharp enough to be able to get out. This is utilizing your resources because Two of Pentacles does talk about resources. So I don't know if it's you or another person, but it's like being stuck in a situation. It's up and down. It could be financially, it could be some type of debt, it could be a relationship. Who knows? Because I say it's Two of Cups and a Hangman. For some of y'all, though, this could be going on a repetitive cycle when it comes to love interest or people or dating or fluctuating type styles. Because you also had this here, it's a United Cups. It's gonna be that though, because I say you got Eight of Swords and Two of Pentacles. I mean, I know this could be money, contractual, whatever situation. It could be you hear me say getting out of a situation or feeling up and down in the emotional type state, trying to keep balance that energy. On the bottom of the deck, baby. Let me pull them. Let me pull them. We got the Scorpio. We got Scorpio, Taurus. Ugh, I be forgetting to say the signs. Scorpio, Taurus, Libra, Nine of Pentacles, and Tower. Then on the bottom, we keep going. We got this. This is the Wheel of Fortune. I tell you, Wheel of Fortune is the harvesting season, and I like this though. Like this is the good harvesting season when people talk about completing certain cycles and certain things or whatever the case may be. Because the Wheel of Fortune is also about harvesting. It's about the good necessarily. When the good gets going good, it's good. But when it's going bad, baby, it's going bad. So let's go. On the bottom of the deck, you have two sister signs. You got Scorpio and you got Scorpio and Hierophant. Some of y'all this could be transitions in relationship though. For some of y'all this could have to do with marital situations, school, learning, like higherness, understanding, aware. For some of y'all this is routine. Like you hear me say. For some of y'all though, this is up and down though. I tell you, this could be relationship styles, going through emotional type situations necessarily though. It could be emotional style. Like I said, it gives me school learning and all those different types of things and opening up. For some of y'all with this justice and this Nine of Pentacles and this power, some of y'all trying to learn how to restore your own cosmic balance or karmic type balance. I think for some of y'all though, with this juggling going back and forth, it kind of gives me like a little bit of micromanaging type energy though, whether it's like financial. So it's kind of like if you were broke, it's kind of like somebody's more focused on what I need to save, I need to do this, so I won't necessarily go broke because I like necessarily what I have in the Nine of Pentacles energy. So I'm not trying to go overboard. If it's a relationship type style, it's like because you got Six of Swords here, it's going backwards. It's kind of like I don't want to do the same thing, so I'm trying to stop from doing this. Because I told you, power moment is kind of like to break free, break out in a sense of freedom. It doesn't have to always be in chaos, but for y'all, the up and down, the juggling, the Six of Pentacles, financial, this tower moment could be you necessarily reaching that point where you have to deal with like changes that come in and like unnecessary changes. Because I told you the tower could be institutions, it could be the house, it could be anything with a building, work, career, home, whatever happens in the building, ideally though, where you spend majority of your time. So let's go. But for some of y'all though, it's like a relationship though. I will say with the Scorpionic, the Hierophant, and the Nine of Pentacles and the Tower. Some of y'all are trying to like avoid somebody in that jealous type energy though. It's kind of like, oh, I want to say this, but I don't want to say. Some of y'all trying to shoot your shot at somebody and was like, I don't know. Or trying to, because the jealous type energy necessarily with the Scorpionic type energy for some, it's kind of like, oh, I've changed. I'm not the same person. So it's kind of like going through major transformations. And it's kind of like, okay, I want to say this, but if you don't know how to get your point across and like not being an aggressive style type person, where you trying to show like the Nine of Pentacles when you're on her own garden, focusing, but it's something there her attention, but it's kind of like, do she wants to, if it's attention worthy enough for her to leave her harvest behind. So I think that's probably what some of y'all suffering with because you might have been dating people where necessarily you gave your harvest to people so fast. So that could be a problem. Or a situation where you're trying to balance out the scales. I don't know. Whichever one. Ten of Swords. Three of Cups, the Hermit, and the Chariot. This Ten of Swords, you hear me say, there could be some type of harsh ending. Ten of Swords, I tell you, that's kind of like lies, backstabbing, betrayal with the Three of Cups. This could come from friends, social group settings, parties, like whatever it is with the chariot type energy. For some of y'all, y'all have a will for it to be able to move to get out of that type of victory type state, though. It's kind of like the woe is me or sticking it to the man, ideally, though, or unfair type of situations. Being able to conquer, to be able to move forward. All these upright. Are you right? Okay, being able to necessarily move forward. It could be like a family style type dynamic. I tell you, could be mental health type challenges. Emotional awareness, though, because I tell you, the Ten of Swords and the Sword to me is like harsh communication. Like, those the words that's left unsaid. It's like shit that people say to you that stick with you for the rest of your life, ideally, though. Or it could be actions that necessarily people do. You got Six of Pentacles, reverse, King of Cups, and the Six of Swords reverse, but you also have the Nine of Cups. For some of y'all, though, that's why I said going back to that's like style of behavior, the words that you necessarily don't say. The Six of Pentacles could be where it's like a disadvantage to somebody else. So the King of Cups, he could be cold, emotionally aloof, but it also could be manipulative in a state of where you can see the Nine of Pentacles, where she's wanting something to come to her, but she don't know how necessarily to what it is that she should or shouldn't say. So it sits there in a wish fulfillment, like you see me with the foot tapping and saying, I know you see me. That type of energy. You got Page of Pentacles reversed. This is where I say like monetary type gain or situations or the overly romantic or type of situations. The Page of Pentacles reversed is kind of like a person who necessarily don't like to stay around. So this could be an ex or a person that you used to talk to ideally or how you communicate with them. I kind of feel like if it was like in a relationship type style, ideally though, this was your niche of dating or person you were dating ideally though. You were possibly giving too much if it was like friend groups and people. It could be it's like it's an openness. It's a openness. I don't know why I feel like it's like openness. I will say that though. Because you got Page of Wands and the Page of Wands and the Moon. You also had a Knight of Cups. I told you some type of evolution though, which is cool though. Even though I said that in the fire or earth energy, whichever one it is. I think I said in the fire reading when I was like, a lot of people are looking for love and trying to date, but they're necessarily dating from a state of where they want king and queen type status of mastering self, but they're necessarily pages and knights or younger. It could be age differences where wisdom hits different vessels differently. Or interests, or changing, or challenging, like the Hierophant. So it's kind of like that energy, though. But you also have Page of Wands though in the moon. So I told y'all this energy could be good news or good start, ideally though. But this is the worries, this is the fears, this is the juggling. Is it gonna go from good to bad? For some of y'all know this could be fluctuating between mental health type challenges. Because that energy could subject yourself to I tell people to count their triggers. Count their triggers is necessarily a form of it's like day by day type steps. You know what I say? Oh, you should journal. All these positive patties come along. And you say you should journal. You should do this. Your triggers is necessarily where let me get it together because I ain't said this in a long time. Wait a minute. Triggers is necessarily the energy of like you count your number before you necessarily burn yourself out. So it's that style of energy though. So it's like you're writing, you're fluctuating. So if you know what's the red flags that will set you off your rocker, shit that'll necessarily piss you off to make you go from 10 to 2 really quick, it's kind of like sitting down and like saying, okay, well, who has these traits? Where do I go with these Three of Cups? If it's friends, ideally, who do this? Like, what am I doing to others? Like, what am I consuming that puts me in this energy? Because that's the harder style type energy. To be partying a little too much. I hear me say partying with people who necessarily that are not your friends. So I will say that with this Ten of Swords on top though. Because I had somebody like a download like that though, where somebody was partying with people who necessarily weren't their friends. I told y'all, I say this all the time, a lot of people don't know what a party over. Feminine aspect, I tell you, that's where women don't know how to compartmentalize their friends, ideally, though. So it's like learning that everybody ain't cool with you just because y'all going in the same direction. So that's because you like money, they don't mean you like sex, they like sex. It's kind of like we're not cool. So a lot of people necessarily don't understand that when they meeting new people or hanging with them or they pique their interest and it comes off in a vulnerable, openly, free, willy yeah, I want to hang, and it's kind of like, no, they're assholes. Right? So for some of it's kind of like that style type of energy though. So that's what I said. But going back to counting your triggers, that help you out, like necessarily if you suffer with like emotional breaks or going on the verge of a manic type episode to where you won't be in a space to where you're taking on too much because like everybody manic episode is different. A manic episode for some doesn't necessarily always have to end in wait a minute, it doesn't necessarily have to end in somebody just spazzing out, needing to go to the clinic, thinking of suicidal. Like, no, it could be gossipy, it could be raunchy, it could be a loud anger outburst. Like, it could just be different things. So that's why I say everybody manic dysphoria is not the same. Well, I was shuffling these cards came. I'm trying to show y'all all at once. Baby, hold on. Hold on. And ain't nobody saying nobody depressed. You just might got symptoms of it. No, I ain't no damn psychiatrist. Let me. All right. First card out, we got Eight of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, and the King of Wands. That's why I said this here. Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups and the King of Wands could be necessarily I tell you that's a controlling type of demeanor though. For some of y'all though, this could be paying attention, putting in interest or work for your own style of happiness though. So I told you a lot of people go through there where they necessarily try to find themselves and they put themselves on a path where they feel like they're taking control, but necessarily the King of Wands is losing control. It's like he fights for it so hard, puts himself in situations to where he can be hot tempered, egotistical, not necessarily in the space of supportive. Now keep in mind this could be a part of group necessarily of people that you hang with. So that's why I said don't have to be you, it can be somebody else. So I would say that. You also have Queen of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Swords in the world though. For some of y'all though, I think this is like the Piscean energy thing where some of y'all do or necessarily to where you try to help others before you help yourself. And it ends up slowing you down. So I think for some of y'all are recognizing that though where you're trying to step into like this independent energy, being free of burdens, drama, trauma, situations that necessarily keep you tethered and tied, but it's slowing you down. Because some of y'all are like blocked and repressed, keeping certain issues. Because you got a lot of learnship cards, apprentices, understanding, information, at the bigger picture, but you also had a two of swords with that juggling, like, oh, what if, what if, what if? It was like the friend type aspect. A lot of y'all are necessarily trying to weed out from an informational standpoint because you do got the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. So for some of y'all, though, you could be learning and fluctuating for a season. I tell you, anybody can get cut out. Well, it's your mom, your dad, your cousin, your brother, the damn dog. Maybe they gotta go. So it's kind of like this style type of energy, though. I would say that. What's this? Nine of Wands. I tell you, Nine of Wands is in a space of where it's vulnerability, but it's also openness and it's not protecting your own set interest, though. So I would say that, though, that's where the inability to be able to stand up or fight necessarily for what it is that you want, but it also like vulnerability to where like people you necessarily have a soft spot for. I will say that. That's kind of a soft spot for. You got Lovers Reverse. Ooh, don't like that. Let's see what comes out after that. That Lovers Reverse necessarily for me because that Ten of Wands, that Three of Cups, and that Hermit, I tell you, that could be a situation where you're dealing with like some love interest type situation, ideally, though, where it's kind of like you caught in the middle. So I don't know if it's like a karmic style type of situation where you're leaving one person and trying to go to another one, but it's like this energetically attached or emotional waiting, fluctuating. I'm going to date, but I'm not dating with sincerity of being letting loose of my shackles or the mental imprisonment of what someone or something did to me. So it's really open, but it's open from a state of to be attacked by other things, other people who necessarily could take advantage of you. So this is where like the mean, nasty energy comes from. I tell y'all, Pisces has the most nastiest asshole ever. Think of like, bro, their attitudes is nasty, bro. That shit is horrible. Like, it's a Pisces, y'all. That shit go from 10 to real quick. It's really nasty. It's like hot and cold. It's like, are you okay? I'm telling you, like, it's just like, Are you okay, child? What is going on? Stuff like my son sometimes I want to broke the fuck out of that motherfucker. Okay. All right. We got the Knight of Swords, Ten of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. I told y'all that though. I told y'all that though. Knight of Swords and the Ten of Wands and the Seven of Swords. I tell you, that could be like a great self-sabotaging acts. Some of y'all, it could be scapegoats. I say that could be like a scapegoat type behavior with stressing your behavior on somebody else. With the Ten of Swords, for some of y'all though, like I told you, in this energy of hanging with certain people who necessarily don't serve you or thinking that they're your friend. Ideally, you know, when people hold it over your head. For some of y'all, though, I think this is where the self-sabotaging acts come in because you try to cut your burdens down, whether they're through drugs, whether they're through substances, whether they're through people, whether it's through sex. But you got night and lovers, whatever the interest is, it's like I need to release certain things, but I don't know how because the minute you drop your burdens or dealing with them or don't ask for the assistance necessarily that you need, this is where the burden style type energy kind of takes over the mind. So I'm gonna say that though. You do Seven of Swords energy. So that's a sneaky. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune though, I tell you that though. I liked it that though. I tell you it's the first this like it's been a couple times though. I told you I ain't even gonna count, but I ain't seen it in like some months. Where somebody like trying to wrap up some karmic cycle or start over or embrace some said newness. And like the cards before it clarified and the cards behind it was like high key positive. So keep up the good work because I give y'all a pat on the back. I will say that because usually in the reads I give y'all a hard time to where y'all be like, do this bitch like us or not? But or keep in mind this could be somebody with you that's jumping off the cycle. That's like, no, I'm done. Because you got a lot of threes here. For some of y'all though, like you hear me say, if you're dating, ideally though, it's kind of like I say the King of Swords. He could be a cheater necessarily off the back and not want to be. So it could be a feminine that acts very masculine. Ideally though, that moves around like dudes, like you see where. You know how like you people who are into same sex relationships, you know, back in the day how they used to have toxic what is it? What I say? What is the word toxic? Why am I saying it though? Social media. You know how they used to have like studs who used to try to act like men, so they would think it was okay for them to abuse or hit or cheat, ideally on women, and they thought it was cute because they were and ideally though acting out their impulse like those touch me not ass studs. Yeah, so that's like the epitome of King Wands reverse. And then it could be a dude too. Like you hear me say when dudes that's necessarily young or young minded but have age, ideally though, dating them or feminines or men, whoever is the sexual person. I mean the sex identified in those situations could be a person who um carries a lot of baggage. But for one of y'all though, I think I got a soft spot. Because you got the star though. I tell you it's like a soft spot, ideally though, for a person. I will say that. Why you got a soft spot? Because it's here. Nine of Wands and the Lovers. So see that night rushing in. One of y'all though, I feel like if it's a person, place, or thing, I feel it's like somebody plays on your vulnerabilities or you're preying on somebody else's vulnerabilities when it comes to the style of commitment or friendships or relationships, though. I will say that though. So that could be that thing though. Because I told you that could be somebody who likes to sit back and watch and be very observatory because you got a lot of observant type card where somebody just sits back and watch. So I would say that. I don't know if it's you or somebody else though, because you do got Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant coming right after the star as we start some new beginning this though. Because you got the you got after the Wheel of Fortune, my bad. My music good out? Oh. That's what I was like, what happened? We got the Wheel of Fortune and the Stars. So I tell you, just like some new beginning, this understanding, this wish fulfillment. Like it's like, okay, I want the good times after this necessarily. It could be like a lot of self reflection. I tell you, this Eight of Swords necessarily doesn't always have to be somebody who's a martyr or a victim. So this could be a person after self sabotage and traits that's from the Seven of Swords that rose into the Eight that want a new beginning, but it could be I fucked up so much. So how do I necessarily move forward? But I told you with the transformation and the energy, it's kind of like somebody trying to show somebody they changed, though. But then the way you're going about change is kind of like you trying to leave your nine of pentacles. So that could be everything necessary that you work hard for, in necessarily the harvesting season, reaping in Virgo season, your abundance, or necessarily learning to get off your horse to go necessarily tend to somebody else. Because if they was the nine and you were in a stagnant type place, or the relationship necessarily got old, I wouldn't be out here searching for something new. I would be trying to figure out how could I bring back the new in me, or it, or the relationship style, or self-reflecting in a position to see how, what is it that I like, what is serving me with this Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant. So I would say that though. Girl, I'm really relaxed. I'm laying over here on the table. I need to start keeping the table right here from now on, though. I really do that. I still get jealous. You too sassy, beautiful. And everybody wants to taste. 4 cups. This could be missed opportunities for certain things. Yay! Okay, you got Ace of Pentacles, Hierophant, 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. Didn't I say it though? Or y'all kind of got like a soft spot or something for a person. For some of y'all could be a teacher or a position or in a learnership type place, or have some authority necessarily, or wanting some understanding. But for y'all, I told you it's kind of like it's the Hierophant that come out reverse, but necessarily it could be some emotional type aspects of understanding or awareness. Though. For some of y'all, though, it's kind of like you were outskirted out of a person's life. I kind of feel like when it came to love, somebody was more necessarily supportive to other people, or friendships, or dynamics where they were taken advantage of. So the High Priestess put you in a position to, when it came to you and your intuitiveness, to where when it comes to share or what not to share, when it comes to people, it puts you in a vulnerable type state. And people who don't know that, see that that's the issue, they take advantage. I was gonna say that though. Fuck them bitches. All right, don't get me started. I've been in the mood all day. 7 of Wands, you got Queen of Cups reverse, and you also have the Ace of Swords. I like that though, because 7 of Wands is this though. I think this is where the action type state comes from. For some of y'all though, I think y'all about to do like this Piscean shut down, aggressive. It's not passive at all. It's just pure aggressive to where I'm going to stand my ground. This is how I feel, and I'm shutting out. So some of y'all could be shutting out your own emotions. Kind of feel like that though. A lot of you are possibly necessarily dealing with emotional type aspects, or love, or a person, or who you used to be, and whatever it is kind of like you're shutting it out and needing to communicate. Or somebody could be doing this to you. There's a lot of self-sabotage energy though. I will say that though, because you got 10 of Pentacles and you have the 3 of Wands. I told you I like this though, because the 10 of Pentacles could speak of broken family dynamics. It could be legacy, shameful secrets, things coming out. Ideally though, this could be the pit of the root, where we talk about environmental factors, the way you were raised, people who you influence with, the dynamic of being around money hungry people. So it's like I'm getting money, or just necessarily a broken dynamic where it's not supportive, to where you hear me say you got the 3 of Cups over here and this over here, where it's not a blended environment. So it's more competitive type style, doggy dog type style, or whatever the case may be. So it's not necessarily supportive. Well, you hear me say everybody want to be a chief, but nobody wants to be an Indian. Am I making sense? Whew, my bad. The camera be lagging. All right, you got Knight of Wands. For some of y'all though, the 10 of Pentacles, I tell you, the family dynamic or the work dynamic or whatever the case may be, it's a competitive doggy dog type style. Like the 3 of Wands and the Knight of Wands, I tell you, there could be like some arrogancy and some boisterous type behavior, like a person who is more egotistical, show offy type behavior. I think this is where that comes from. Ideally, though, if it comes to lovers or people, or pitting their point across. Some of y'all could be the younger sibling or mid age or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of like you need to fight necessarily when it comes to attention type wise. For some of y'all could be dealing with a younger sibling, or a person that's younger than you, or like you hear me say, somebody who's older but they're very young in age. Because Knight of Wands is kind of like a high headed type person. It's like, no, let me show you. And it's like, damn. It's like that type of energy. You got 2 of Cups though. For some of y'all, I think this is where this style of technique comes from. 'Cause I tell you, like that Ten of Pentacles and this severe tetheredness, though, that's what people be saying, like that family over everything, where you will protect, provide, covet certain people who don't need coveting, like in those seasons, so they can take advantage, and it goes into that aggressive type state. Ideally, though, so when it takes for you to partner up or move forward in relationships, you would rather be with a person who accepts you at dysfunction when clearly you don't even want dysfunction, and wanting to move forward. I would say that. That's good. You got Queen of Wands and Three of Wands. That's why I said that's what it is, though. For some of y'all, though, I think y'all like to chase. I like to chase. No, it's I like to taste. I like to taste. But it's chase. We're going to put chase. Because you got Queen of Wands and the Three of Swords. So I tell you, that could be like a resentful style, lies, hurt. It could be some sort of bitterness lingering in the air, though, when it comes to the work dynamic, friendship, relationships, whatever the case may be, when it comes to showmanship and actions. For some of y'all, though, it's kind of like a bitter taste when it comes to a relationship, though. Some of y'all have this competitiveness, or a person who has a competitive style type trait, and they're attracted to these type of people. So for some of y'all, though, y'all can have like their martyr type complex, where I read that in last month's, ideally, though, like wanting to save because being so emotionally understanding. Because my son is a Pisces moon, and a Scorpio rising with a no, he's a Pisces sun, Sagittarius moon, and a Scorpio rising. So he has that martyr type complex where he wants to understand and know, and it gets on my nerves. So sometimes I have to catch myself, though, and I'd be like, no, you're gonna stop being there for everybody. Or whatever the case may be. He's like, Mom, I'm not like you. I'm like, no, you are an asshole, embrace it. So it won't come out like in a pass like an aggressive type style too much, to where it's kind of like, oh, I feel too bad because I did this, and it's like, no, you meant it, own it. Now let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like that sounds like you got the devil. Six of Cups and a Temperance type energy, though. For some of y'all, though, I kind of feel like the Six of Cups could be like, I told you, the karmic style type relationships. It could be childhood trauma. I told you, it could, you got a lot of queens here that's reversal. It could be an absentee parent, lover, whomever it is from your life that groomed you, ideally, though, or I ain't gonna say groomed. Ooh, that's like nasty. That's nasty as fuck. That's an animal you groom. Six of Cups and the Temperance, though, this could be childhood trauma. Childhood trauma. I'll tell you how that affects certain people when it comes into, because that could be Seven of Swords, where you hear me say that is in the energy of rape, molestation, loss of parents, lack of self, patience, tiring. For some of y'all, though, it's kind of looking for some sort of soul that needs ease, like the soul that needs ease, but it's pouring into only what it knows. So for some of y'all, know y'all try to go help or be abundant or understanding to other people. This is where the God like complex energy come from, where people who experience, where you hear me saying, a philanthropy type style. Like philanthropist is a person who would give to people who necessarily has been broke because they knew what it feel like to be broke. So they're gonna save somebody and not understanding the reason why they were going through the situation they were going through. That's a martyr type complex. A humanitarian would say no. Let's understand why you have the friends you have. Why? Not to judge them in a form of way. We're gonna have 5 of Cups over here. Loss. So I said, could be with a parent, the absentee of. Got a lot of kings out here, I'll tell you that. So this could be for a masculine approach to feminine type aspect, though, the love, the support, the understanding your own. So I would say that those 6 of Cups, trauma holding things back, but from y'all, though, that is the peace. That is a situation. Things that necessarily soothe you from the past. So let's go. Whoo, we got everything is fine, but we got the Judgment, though. Everything is fine, reverse. I tell you, that's that pretending that everything is okay until it is not. Then you have the Judgment card, which is reverse. I told y'all that's like a redemption. I told you I have been getting that a lot, though. Redemption for some people, necessarily not knowing how to maintain or honor their shadow. They try to go seek redemption through people that they necessarily hurt instead of trying to redeem themselves. So this is when it comes to the temperance style type energy. It seems like you're regurgitating things of the past, situations and cycles. It's kind of like that, though. Yeah. All right, let's go. Scorpionic type energy. It's be a loss though. Be a loss of a person or a situation though. But for some of y'all, though, Six of Cups does speak of making peace with your past. So judgment and Scorpio, though, for some of y'all, it's like a redeeming type area. A redeeming. I think a lot of people been unnecessarily running into karmic soul groups. I will say that a karmic situation where their past life experiences playing out for them. It feels like a deja vu, the judgment type style. You kind of like, oh, I've been here before. So this is here. I thought it makes peace with your past and to be able to move forward. I will say that though, because I tell you when that scorpionic type energy necessarily hits the card, like you see the lady, she's begging and she's pleading, and this would tell me I have to learn how to do not in a brutal type force because it is upright. If it was reversed, this would be like the toxic Scorpio. For some of y'all, this is like the energy of necessarily saying, I'm making transformations. I'm moving forward. Like whatever's there is there. I gotta get my damn job done. I would say that though. Ooh, Seven of Cups. I thought about Seven of Cups. Energy of this is Piscean type energy, like the dreamy, aloof, romanticism style. I know that's so cliche, but this is what y'all do when y'all like somebody. I said this the other day. I said I accept Venus in Pisces. I said Taurus, Scorpio, Capricorn. And I think I left one off though, but I think I had put them in there though because I was like, I want somebody to support me. If somebody said, no, they're a murderer, and they're like, no, I'm gonna stand with you. Those down. Like that though. So that's why I was like, yeah, fuck is you talking about? But that Seven of Cups reverse is the energy of being like so emotionally burnt out. Like that's like sobriety, that's understanding. I can see clear, like that type of energy. Page of Cups, I like this though. Page of Cups speaks of having faith, understanding, giving to self, and I like it though. This is why I say I can't wait to get my camera set up. It's up under here. So it's like, what could you give your younger self? What would you tell yourself? Do you treat yourself like the old you? And I think this is where this martyrdom complex comes in. Well, I gotta say, all right. We're gonna pull a couple more, and we're gonna be through with this. And then we're gonna go to the animal moon. I'm trying to think. I'm kind of like, I don't know. All right. Woo, woo, woo. All right, we got justice for one. Hang ones. I like this though. I like this though. I like it though, because justice for wands and a hang one though. For some of y'all though, I will say this with this justice on top of this temperance. I will say that's just like the fairness and the balance, the understanding. I told you rolling into Libra season where I said a lot of people going into Libra season trying to have that balance. A lot of people that felt a lot about people, like they finna start communicating. It's gonna be like this type of energy where in Cancer season, where the family dynamic was rolling around, it's kind of like, oh, I've been holding this in it. I'm gonna say this, or if I liked you, I'm gonna communicate this now. Now I'm ready. I think I'm here. Like it's gonna be like that fickle where I set. I thought I'm ready to apply. If I felt like this was unfair to me, this is here. I'm coming in. Like a lot of that though. But I told you I like that Page of Cups, that Justice and the Four of Wands, and the Hang One though. For some of y'all, y'all are letting go the idea of necessarily trying to remake people, situations, whatever to fit you. So I would say that though, because you got Seven of Pentacles over here, and then on the bottom of the deck, you got Ace of Cups though, Two of Wands, Five of Wands, Five of Swords, Six of Wands. I tell you, this got something to do with attentive type style. That's VIP type status. I tell you that it's like showmanship, that is a need to be seen. It could be necessarily what you are known as or for the role. Like you hear me say, we got three sides. We got the people, we got the face with your people, the one we don't show, and the one we hide from ourselves. So that Six of Wands kind of give me that energy of what's kind of like, yeah, it's here. People see me and they don't know. So this is where you sit at a standstill. I told y'all that. So this could be competitive story. This could be competitive ways of when it comes to if it's something interest that you want, if it's a relationship or a person. So you sit back. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna let them have it out because of the uncertainty of this. The fear, the unknown, or not knowing necessarily when to make a move. Ideally, though. And then it goes to the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. For some of y'all, though, this is like the friends, a dynamic group of people that you hang around, like seeing their vicious, like rabid dogs. I will say that. I would say that though, because the Ten of Wands and the Seven of Swords, I say that's not of great companionship with anybody. So I would say that though. I tell you, Venus is retrograding. No, Venus is in Leo, and it's gonna be in that bitch. No, Venus gonna be in that bitch till October 6th. So that shit is ugh. Okay, it is though. So if you're in a relationship though, so that's why I told you it's gonna give you a lot of balls to be able to say what it is that you don't say, or wanting people, or being a little bit more communicative, because that's the Leo type energy. Look at me. So it's gonna be like this. So a lot of y'all, I tell you, it's gonna be that ballsy style type energy. It is. Boom, boom. Okay, let's go. With the animals, and then when I get through, I upload the journal. So as I'm through, fuck, I'm not gonna upload all of them. Why I be forgetting to put the title on them. What was that damn title? So I delete this, then go, oh, this the video this where was playing back. I'll be like, fuck, I can do this all at once. It was so easy on my phone. It was so easy on my phone. Rabbit and the shark. So you don't like that rabbit energy? Please go away. Still there. I'm like, rabbit, go away. Rabbit and a turtle. Turtle, turtle. I'm gonna take that turtle and fill out. You got turtle and the lizard. I told you this turtle is the energy of some of y'all could be fearing movement, moving into a new environment or going within. Ideally, though, like this shell, this protective style. A lot of y'all when it's going to new places or trying new things, or ideally though, like it has this hard rock outer shell. So a lot of y'all, this is where that aggressive, dominant style type behavior come from. Depending on the turtle necessarily really doesn't cause nobody problems. So a lot of y'all is kind of like not being satisfied, needing to move or go within, but it's kind of like some of y'all feel like I don't have what it is that I necessarily need. So when it comes to the emotional, the mental, like those aspects, like it's a shut down, shut off, cut out. I forgot what the lizard means, but I know lizards survive. It's an amphibian, so it could be the emotional aspects. But they got it as a fire. So it's kind of like fire. So it could be the deserty type aspects though. But I tell you it's an amphibian though. It survives. We got Cobra too. And we have the horse. Bam. Bam. And we're gonna read the ones that's out of we're gonna read the ones that's out of balance. On the bottom of the there we go. I told you the nightingale comes up to where it talks about singing your song, creative, camping, all those different types of things. I've been telling people that for the longest. I've been wanting to do something just wild and spontaneous though. You know, them people that just go live in the woods for a weekend. Y'all probably like, bitch, you scared of bugs. I know, right? The fuck? But I just want to do it though. I don't give a fuck. Like, even though I'm scared of bugs, I still want to do it. Just it's facing your fears. So you oh, I said that though. This is really Piscean energy. Lizard is instinctual, sensitive to and a subtle dreamer. It is artistic, telepathic, spiritual. When it is out of balance, it is elusive, non-committable, flaky, and it is non-committable and flaky. To bring into balance, this is a creative style type project. So a lot of y'all, it's like finding what necessarily soothes you. Ideally, though, whether it's your drawing, writer, creativeness, whether whatever it is, it's like the big crowds, lots of travels, overstimulations will drain a lizard of their magical essence. So a lot of y'all, this could be the friend groups and the people. Ideally, though, the narrative moving on from those, like changing lovers, switching career paths, tapping into something new, those dreams that you necessarily left behind, and like doing what necessarily fulfills you. If it's singing, it's like tapping into that and using that pain to put you in a better position. If it is coloring, drawing, whatever, it's like bringing that back. So got the what's the cobra? I tell you that cobra is necessarily to where it comes out that like you know how you see people when it comes out the cage. Cobra is the pausing, the waiting, the inner teacher. It is a student of life. It is humble. It is wise. It is when it is out of balance. It is a know-it-all, and it is an ego. I'm trying to put my elbow right. Bam! It is egocentric. to bring in the balance. I told you this is taking a class study. That's where all of it was coming from. It's like Cobra comes out when it's necessarily feeling when you want to be a student again. So I told you, like the people who has a song that can entice the Cobra to come out of the basket. Ideally, though, it's like it's song like what brings you, what arises you to necessarily show your power. Then we got the horse, the horse, the horse. The horse. He got a horse. He's got a horse, literally. Those of you that know, that know. If you don't know, now you know. He's got a horse. Alright, it is reversed, so we're gonna say when it is out of balance, it runs away and it feels necessarily weak. The horse is freedom. This is expansive energy, and it is a force. I'll tell you, this could be the shadow. This is the dark part. I'll tell you, a lot of cards have light. It is shadowy. The shadowy cards, to me, are necessarily black and white. The water type aspects is these. It's just blatant black. For some of y'all, though, I'll tell you, the shadowy always has like a bit, like a hit of gray that comes in through it to bring it into light, ideally, though. When it is in balance, it achieves everything it never gives up. To bring into balance, this is strength training where I say counting your triggers. This is people, this is situations, knowing when it's enough, cutting off conversation, changing the narrative, putting the drink down, knowing when the party is over, putting whatever it is that's down at the moment that's necessarily not serving you and not from a routine style. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we have honed in and collect our energy through daily practices. This could be exercising, meditation, and are the secret weapons behind the damn the horse's legacy. So on that note, you guys, wait a minute. What the fuck was the name and shit? Wait a minute, I'm gonna get y'all a positive head. We're gonna get y'all a positive affirmation that you can say. Write it down at the end if you feel so. No, write it down though. Write it down. And remember, if you a cross watcher and you like, oh, they just romanticizing, girl, I don't know them. Dude, I don't know them, so it might be you I'm talking about. All right, let's go. Okay, y'all a positive panic. For those of y'all that's going through transition and changes about life, it said, I love life. It is my birthright to live fully and freely. I give to life exactly what I want life to give to me. I'm glad to be alive and I love life. So, y'all, positive affirmation for the month is to say, I love life. My favorite one is to say, when I get pissed off, is say, I love humans, but I hate their ways. So, that's when I kind of feel like I'm an alien or some bullshit. I did. And like, I just don't it in my human existence. I say, bitch, I love life. I say, I love humans, but I hate their ways. When I see them do some stupid shit in my higher self, be like, and then my lower self be like, bitch, behave. You know, you was just like that. And I'm like, all right, okay, I'm gone. I went on the clock to roll out to it switches to 4